Welcome to In Focus. I'm your host, Phan. Maria Suarez knows all too well what the words human trafficking means. That's because she lived those words for more than 5 years as a victim of it more than 30 years ago. It is a story she has painfully told many times, but one she is willing to retell as many times as she needs in order to make sure it won't happen to someone else.
The way how I got involved in this situation is actually I came to this country young. I will say ignorant, naive. I was 15, I was going to be 16. I came to this country. I was legal. I came with my father to stay with my sister. I was going to stay here for just a couple of weeks with my father, but my father left and he left me in here. After that, not even a month, walking on the street, a woman approached me if I want a job. I got excited, and the thing is that she told me not to tell my family and to keep it as a secret, which I thought it was a very good idea for me to keep it as a secret and surprise my family with a job. And she told me she was going to come back later. That woman didn't show up for, I don't remember exactly how many days she didn't show up, and I even forgot about the job. I even forgot about her. And later on, again, she comes on the street. She's driving, and she asked me if I still want the job, and I got happy again, and I said yes. I went with her. The ride took us about I will say 45 minutes or longer. When we're on the road, it got a little bit dark. When we got to that person's house, it was this was an old man came out to greet us at the door. He was friendly. He shook my hand. He says hi, hello, and everything. And the job supposed to be cleaning the house and answering phones, because according to this lady, this man was a businessman with his wife. And I just was going to be in the house answering the phones and cleaning the house. And I thought that was going to be a nice job and everything. So I met this man. Him and the lady goes to one of the rooms in the back of the house. And they sit me in the living room. It's a couch. The TV was on. I'm sitting over there on the couch. I start looking around the room, and I noticed that it was extra locks on the doors, extra locks on the windows, and extra padlocks in every windows and doors. On the phone had also a little lock. I didn't know at the time it was a lock, but it was a lock. And my gut feeling started to tell me that you are in the wrong place, but I didn't pay attention to that. I was young, I was ignorant, like I said before. I didn't pay attention to none of those feelings. So after that, they stayed there for a while, probably half an hour or longer, came out. They were laughing, smiling, talking, and of course, by then, I want to go back to my family. I told both of them, let's go, I want to go to my house. And they both looked at me, and then they said, oh, why don't you stay here so you can meet my wife? And I said, no, I want to go to my house. To make a long story short, between him and her convinced me to stay there and meet the wife and actually start working. And I said, I need to call my sister. By then, I didn't have any money. I didn't know anything around LA, nothing the area where I was. I didn't even know where I was. So he says, okay, call your sister. The only thing I knew was my sister's phone number. He removed the little lock from the phone. I called my sister. When I called my sister got upset. She asked me who's these people, where they at, the address and his name, the city, and everything. And I keep asking him, she wants to know your phone number, she wants to know your name. Every time that I was asking him a question about what my sister was wanting, he kept shaking his finger and telling me, don't worry, I will take you home tomorrow. I will take you home tomorrow. That was his answer to everything. That night, he take me to the room where I was gonna sleep. The room where I was gonna sleep, it had an altar, wood altar with the red curtains in the bottom, a picture of God Latin with the arms open, and he tells me, he take me close to the altar and tells me that I can clean everything around the house, but do not touch anything in there or open those curtains that were there. I noticed that around the altar in the inside had different kind of bottles and jars with stuff inside, like dirt, like some squares in there, with wax, with needles, with thread all around, and it was weird. And it was a bunch of those around there. And he told me that I was gonna sleep in the room, so yeah, I slept in the room. Then the next day, he gets up, eats breakfast, and takes his wife to work. When he comes back, I asked him if he's gonna take me home, and he just left me sitting in the living room, sitting on the couch, goes straight to the room where he has the altar, and he closes the door. So he says he's busy and he's working. I didn't know what kind of job he was doing, so I sit there patiently, and he didn't take me to my house that day. The next day, again, by the next day, I feel that it's a long, long time. I want to go to my family. So he goes and does the same routine, eats breakfast, takes his wife to work, and he comes back. And by then, I kind of demanding. I said, I want to go home. Can you please take me to my family? And he seems to be angry at me, and he slams the door and goes to the room, closes the door, slamming, and don't come out till later. When he comes out, by then I'm already crying in the living room because I want to go home. I don't know where I'm at. I cannot use the phone because he has the lock on it, and I don't know what to do. I don't know the area. He comes out and sees me crying, and he tells me that I was not gonna go nowhere, that he had bought me for $200, that I was there for him to do anything he wants to do to me, and I cannot go nowhere. So by then I stand up and I start walking away from him, and he tried to touch me. He tried to get a hold of me, and of course I'm not gonna let him touch me or hold me. I will walk away. I go around and around in circles in the house because the house was little. While I'm going around and around for a while, he gets tired and he gets angry. He goes to the door, to the side door, and he tells me, okay, you can get out. But in the meantime, he puts his arm around the door frame, and I'm thinking, if I get out, he's gonna catch me. So how can I get out of here without him catching me? And I think and think, and then finally I get the courage to walk out of the room. And when I thought of myself, I'm gonna run out of here. When I was going to cross the door, he grabbed me. When he grabbed me, he pulled me back and tore up everything that I have on my body. Every item that I have on my body, he tore up and took it off of me and pushed me out of the door like a newborn baby. And he closed the door. When he closed the door, I was outside looking at him, trying to tell him, give me my clothes. I just want my clothes. I don't care where I'm gonna go. I just want my clothes. I was naked, completely naked. So he's looking at me through that window, through the door window, laughing at me. And by then, I think he wanted to give me my clothes, or I don't know what was going through his mind. He opened the door and he tells me, here is the clothes. I bend over to get my clothes. When I bend over, I don't know if he kicked me, punched me, or pushed me. I ended up being by the tub in the bathroom. I had hit my head and I went unconscious. When I woke up, I noticed that he had raped me. He was standing by my feet and he was looking at me. And he told me that I better not tell no one because he was a witch. And if I tell anything to my family, he will kill my family. He used to beat me up, abuse me, sexual, emotional, physical, and spiritual. The fear wasn't there day by day, and the fear held me in there for all of those years till this young couple came and lived in this house. And he tried to do the same thing with the wife of this young man. He infuriated this man so much that this man killed this old man, and he got killed. The old man got killed. Then after he got killed, I hear him screaming my name. I came out. I was getting ready to put some clothes, and I hear him calling my name. I came out, and he was already on the ground. When I saw him on the ground, I just felt that something lift me up from the floor, from the ground. I don't remember that much, but I do remember that this guy used a piece of wood to kill him, and he told me to hide it under the house, which I did. I hid the piece of wood that he used to kill this old man, and because of that, I went to jail. I went to jail for that, and I fought my case for a year. I got sentenced after that year of fighting my case for 25 years to life in prison. Out of those 25, I did almost 23 in prison.
Coming up after the break, find out how the justice system failed Suarez and why the death of her captor was not the end of her nightmare. You won't want to miss it. Stay with us.
SBTN là đài truyền hình Việt ngữ đầu tiên phát hình 24 giờ qua hệ thống DirecTV và cable trên toàn cõi Hoa Kỳ và Canada. SBTN phục vụ khán giả hàng ngày với lượng tin tức cập nhật sáng, trưa, chiều, tối, dồi dào, đáng tin cậy, cùng hàng loạt tin tức địa phương từ Little Saigon, San Jose, Dallas, Houston đến Washington DC, Boston, Toronto và Việt Nam. Phim bộ hấp dẫn lôi cuốn, cải lương đặc sắc, tâm tình nghệ sĩ thú vị, vui tươi, nhạc yêu cầu thắm thiết chân tình, thể thao văn nghệ đời sống sống động hào hứng, Victoria Show với thế giới điện ảnh kỳ thú mới lạ. SBTN luôn đồng hành với khán giả qua các diễn đàn và những phiên phóng sự nóng bỏng, ghi nhận các sinh hoạt văn hóa, giáo dục, chính trị, xã hội của người Việt khắp nơi trên thế giới và tại quê nhà, cùng với những nhận định thực tế, sắc bén của các thức giả đương đại. SBTN đáp ứng nhu cầu của mọi giới, mọi lứa tuổi qua các chương trình tìm hiểu luật pháp, di trú tị nạn, sức khỏe và đời sống, thể dục dưỡng sinh, em học tiếng Việt, lịch sử Việt Nam, hàng loạt chương trình giải trí phong phú lành mạnh như Người mẫu Việt Nam, Hành trình xuyên Việt, sân khấu cuối tuần, cùng với các cuộc thi thố tài năng hào hứng sôi nổi qua các show Đố Ai, giải sáng tác hay nhất, giải những thước phim vàng sẽ lần lượt khởi chiếu trên SBTN. Mọi chi tiết về chương trình, ghi danh quảng cáo bảo trợ xin vào website www.sbtn.tv. SBTN hân hạnh giới thiệu DVD Người mẫu Việt Nam với cuộc thi tài sắc đầy hào hứng của 20 cô gái Việt trẻ đẹp, duyên dáng cùng chương trình ca nhạc đặc sắc với sự góp mặt của các tiếng hát trẻ trung được ái mộ nhất hiện nay: Thiên Kim, Lâm Nhật Tiến, Quốc Khanh, Đoàn Phi, Nguyễn Hồng Nhung, Christine Sa, Như Quỳnh, Đan Nguyên. 20 kiều nữ Việt, 20 niềm hy vọng, nhưng chỉ có duy nhất một danh hiệu Top Model, nên họ đã trải qua nhiều thử thách gay go, sôi nổi, phô trương những nét tuyệt mỹ và tài năng, đặc biệt nhất qua các chương trình biểu diễn thời trang và phong cách.
We're lining up to go out on the runway, and then we heard this boom.
It's actually my mom's idea. She knew that this was a passion of mine since I was very young.
Kính thưa quý vị, người đã thắng giải Top Model năm 2008 là thí sinh.
Ai là Top Model 2008? Hãy mua DVD Người mẫu Việt Nam do Trung tâm Asia phát hành ngày 31 tháng 12 năm 2008.
Welcome back to In Focus. I'm your host, Thuy Phan. January 11th is a day you want to remember. That's because it marks the National Human Trafficking Awareness Day. In order to highlight this plight, we got a chance to speak to Maria Suarez, a survivor of an unimaginable ordeal. Join us as we hear more about how she was able to escape and the courage it took for her to move on.
When I just got sentenced, I didn't know that I was sentenced to 25 to life. I didn't know the meaning of that. And I remember when I started finding out the meaning of 25 to life, I started to get resentments towards the attorney that I had, towards the judge, towards the police, towards the DA, towards the jury, towards all those people that were there that I remember seeing them, and instead of helping me, they pushed me down to the hole deeper. And I felt mistreated and I felt cheated by them because I did not do anything on purpose. I didn't kill this man. I did not go out there and say, okay, I'm gonna hit the piece of wood. I didn't do anything because I wanted to. I did it because it was just a thing that I was so controlled by this man. And I did everything out of ignorance. And no one helped me. Instead of that, they pushed me down to the hole, like I said before. And not only that, the attorney that I had, he was attorney that he was disbarred because he had his own case. He got arrested for using and selling drugs. So he used somebody else's bar number to fight my case, and I was his first criminal case. I didn't speak English. I was in a shock when I got arrested. So I was not defending myself. I was not talking. And I just was, everything was wrong for me. And that resentment got to me probably a year after. I got bitter. I was angry. I was very disappointed with everybody and everything. I got upset. I got angry. I was bitter. But through the time, that bitterness got me to school and to get myself involved in positive things. I got myself involved in groups and school and learning. And yes, I got my GED. I learned how to speak English. I learned how to write and read. And I went to college. I did a lot of things. And then I started finding out that that bitterness and everything that I had was damaging me, because I couldn't let it go of that man. He kept coming and appearing in my dreams. And I used to tell my mother and my sister that every time that I dream of him. And my mother and my sister used to tell me to pray for him and to forgive him. It was a very hard thing for me to do, but I did it. I guess by our beliefs that you need to forgive and not to be bitter, I went back to my old self and to be me. I was able to forgive this man and to keep on going with my normal life, and I start feeling better. I remember feeling that every time that I forgive him, I used to cry and cry and cry. And I feel like when you cleaning a pot, a dirty pot, so crusty, that you scratch and scratch and scratch. That's what I feel, that it was going through my heart, through my soul, scratching my soul and my heart to clean up myself from that hate and bitterness. And I did it. This man was very, very, he was very smart. He knew what he was doing. He used to take me to visit my sister, and he used to give me 3 minutes. 3 minutes, 1 minute to walk from where he parks to the house and knock the door, and my sister to open the door and say hi and bye, and the other minute and come back. My sister was always asking me questions. Why don't you stay? Why you have to go? Why you never want to stay here and talk to me? Why this? My sister asked me so many questions, and I couldn't answer any questions to her. I always was in a hurry to get back, because he used to tell me, if you don't hurry up, if you don't come back in the 3 minutes, I will send somebody to kill your family. He used to tell me and describe me the ways how he was going to kill my family, how he was going to burn my sister's house when they were sleeping, how he was going to go and kill my brother where he was working. One time my father got ill, and he told me that my father was going to die. And sure enough, my father died. So the fear got worse and worse in me. He used to tell me that he had a crystal ball where he can see me. I couldn't talk to people. I couldn't tell people anything. I couldn't say anything because he knew. So I was tight. I was not the only one. He had a lot of other victims due to the job that he was doing. You know, he was a witch. He used to work witchcraft. So women used to come to him for help. So they used to bring their young daughters to him. So he was having sex with 9-year-old girls, and no one ever said anything. No one ever did anything. As a matter of fact, the mothers used to bring it to him, and they never did or say anything. And even though the police knew what he was doing, because the police from Azusa admitted and said that they knew that this man was going to Mexico to get girls from the thirds and bringing over here and use them sexually, and then every time that he got tired, he sent them back or just let them go. The police knew. The police knew what he was doing, and no one did anything. I lost my faith for God because I felt that God had forgotten me. I used to ask him on tears, on my knees, where are you? Why did you forget me? But it was for me to keep my family alive. I didn't care what I was going through, as long as my family were okay, as long as my family were alive. I keep on working, I keep on doing whatever he demanded from me. And I do remember so many times when I used to kneel down and ask God, where are you? Do you really exist? Where are you? And like I said, I thought he had forgot me. And when everything happened that he got killed, I started to rebuild my faith. I started to rebuild everything in me, and to the point that faith is what kept me today, and is what it kept me so many years, and helped me to continue being strong. My family knew that I was going through stuff, but I never allowed them to help me. I keep pushing them away. And I do remember my brother telling me, crying, that day that police came, and like I said before, 3 minutes, 1 minute to walk to my sister's house, 1 minute to say hi and bye, and 1 minute to come back. One of those times, my sister called the police. Police came and detained me. My brother came and got me out of that detention and took me to the house. And he was crying and telling me to stay. And I didn't. I didn't because I was afraid. I was afraid of these men killing them. And I went back to the same place. And my brother was wondering why. But he was crying and telling me to stay there with him, with my family. And I didn't. And they tried to save me. They tried to do everything and anything they could. It was very hard for me to tell them what I was going through. It's been over 30 years of this incident. And every time that I think or I talk about it, it's still there, the pain and everything. I haven't get rid of that yet. And I think that's a good sign, because that helps me to do what I do and to help others and to keep on going. And I think I'd rather stay with the pain like this, so I never stop fighting for what I want to do.
Maria does not tell her story lightly. She tells the story with the hope and wisdom of someone who has survived it and wants to make sure that the world does not turn a blind eye to it. She has come a long way, and she's not done yet. Today, she is a counselor for other victims of human trafficking and says her dream is to travel to pockets of the world where this is an everyday reality and speak to young boys and girls about her experience. It is her life's mission to make what she went through count. Until next time, we hope you learn more, live more, and always stay focused. Thanks for watching.